The big question right now for Republicans, or maybe even Democrats, that are not happy with the Biden administration: are you going for Trump, or are you going to go for Ron? Trump has now announced that he will be running for president in 2024. Obviously, we knew this was coming. We even now have Mike Pence, while promoting his new book and whispering in many of the interviews that he might perhaps run for president, and trying, you can tell, to hold his tongue about Trump at this point in the end of the administration. There's not too many people that honestly we know that can probably beat Trump. He already has a large majority of the country, whether they're blue-collar people, they're QAnon people, they're MAGAs. There's different many majorities of who's going to vote for him. But then, there are many Republicans that are done with Trump. They're upset about what has happened in the past. And that's where Ron DeSantis comes in. And this is where his numbers will probably really spike up. Obviously, he has just taken the seat of governor again in Florida by a landslide, like crazy numbers. So more than likely, Ron is holding one of the biggest keys when it comes to the president race, with 29 electoral votes, which would go straight to Ron. Trump is already laying out small details of what he will be considering with his next run if he were to win. He is looking at voter ID, where you have to have a permanent ID to show up and vote. And obviously getting bills that he already had that have now been stopped by the Biden administration back up and running again. If you were voting for Trump, this may bring in a whole new slew of situations we've seen just in the last few days. Now, with this race that has just now been called with the Senate and the House, Republicans taking House, Democrats remaining in the Senate, and most of Trump's candidates that he did push forward, the Republican Party, when it came to the House and the Senate, did not pass. They did poorly, and Democrats are saying this is a clear sign that Trump would be in trouble with the next election. Could be, possibly. Now, when we look at Biden, obviously Biden is going to be playing some major cards here going into the future. He still has a few aces up his sleeve right now with Democrats and the majority of younger voters, which we saw just in this last election with the House and the Senate. The majority of Democrats were younger people. Biden more than likely will be bringing up the student cancellation up to X amount of money. He may even up it, who knows? But more than likely will never pass right now, because the Republicans have the House. Biden will be pushing his green initiative bill even further, a green America. One big element that is scaring a lot of Republicans, and Democrats are well aware of and that they're betting on, is that Trump and DeSantis cancel each other out, where they split the Republican Party. Now, obviously, Trump is not going to back down. He's already spoken ill of DeSantis at this point, and clearly has not announced a running mate with him, and he's doing this on purpose. DeSantis himself has not announced a run for president at this point while I'm recording this. So we have no idea what a campaign would look like for DeSantis and what he would be preaching on, what he would be going after while he was president if he were to be elected. Obviously, DeSantis being a Republican, and things we know about him already is that he'll more than likely be talking about immigration, tightening up borders, bringing wealth back into America, fracking, drilling. But obviously, more than likely, one of the main topics that's going to be in this next election is the Ukraine-Russian NATO situation, and probably more than likely even North Korea with all the noise they're making right now. These are going to be, in no doubt, one of the biggest topics in this election, with how to handle it, what's the next step, where do we go from here? And as crazy as this may sound, I do believe that abortion will be another big topic when it comes to this next election, more than likely. Talking about this race again that we just had with the Senate and the House, it was not terrible for Republicans. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible in the sense they did win the House, but the majority of people were saying that it was going to be a huge red wave. That did not happen. And like I said, we did see a lot of Trump's candidates do poorly, and some did put up a fight, but the majority did not do well. Obviously, right now, we are still being led by the Democrats. Now that the Republicans are in the House, Nancy Pelosi has stepped down, and someone else will take that role in leadership. That, once again, as the recording of this video, has yet to be named, but very soon, more than likely, that will come up. going back to the results of the House here, when we look at this map, obviously when you look at the majority of it, it is mostly red. It is very much covered in a GOP color. Now, obviously, Democrats are always going to win in certain places in majority of most cities. Republicans won North Carolina, but you can see there around the Chapel Hill, Raleigh area, Democrats did well. New Mexico, Democrats won completely. And then moving up to Maine, Vermont, all that up there, obviously Democrats are taking that in New Hampshire. These are things to be expected. So not to pick sides here, but this could be a telltale sign of what possibly could be coming here in 2024. Democrats are making this sound that Republicans were crushed. They weren't exactly crushed. They still came out with this result. And honestly, if you're Republican, this is a win for you, but still, as an American citizen, there still may not be a lot that's going to really happen here now that we have the Democrats still in charge of the Senate, but Republicans having the House. More than likely, the next 2 years is just going to be full of fighting and threats back and forth from the Democrats and the Republicans, more than likely coming mostly from the Republicans at this point. And right now, they are going after Biden, saying that he has had illegal activity in the past with deals with Russia. So it is already starting right now. So friends, let me know. So friends, give me your ideas. What do you think is coming down the pipeline here? Do you think Biden has a clear victory here in the next election? He said he is running. He said he is going to be going up against whoever it is. Do you think Trump is just going to run over every Republican candidate? Or do you think DeSantis has, does he have a chance here? Does he really stand a fight? Or maybe the dark horse in the background would be Pence. Could it be Pence in the background? Who knows? Friends, let me know. Really do appreciate you being here, and I will talk to you soon.